Hello, and welcome to Tea is Good, Books Are Better, the podcast where we drink tea and talk about books. I'm Raven.
I'm Jess.
Jess.
And I was copying you.
Oh, is that what I sounded like?
Yeah, I'm Raven.
I'm Raven. Before we get started, just a quick shout out to our patrons over on Patreon, supporting us like the boss ass bitches that they are.
Tobias.
Yep.
Bahram?
Yes. This isn't a quiz, you should just know it.
I was like, there's a fourth person. Who is it?
Wait, you've only said two so far, so maybe start with the
Eric
third.
and Jake.
Yes, Eric and Jake. Nice. So, shout out to those guys.
Woo!
Woo! What are we drinking?
I'm drinking cream of Earl Grey.
Oh, from where? From David's Tea?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the other place have cream of Earl Grey? Tetley?
What?
Who else has cream of Earl Grey? Thought it was like their own brand of Earl Grey.
I don't think it's its own thing.
No?
Well, I know because Great Wall Tea Co. has double cream Earl Grey.
Oh shit.
But now you have me curious. Cream of Earl Grey. Let's see. Genuine Tea, Pluck Tea, Harney and Sons. Yeah, no, a bunch of brands have it.
Dang.
Yep.
Go
on. So not a David's Tea thing. But I am drinking your cinnamon apple chamomile.
Wow! My favorite.
I haven't tasted it yet.
Oh shit.
So Jess came over the other day and she brought me one tea bag of her cinnamon apple chamomile. Okay, shall I have my first taste on the mic?
Slurp.
Okay. Just starting off. It smells awesome.
Of course.
Okay, taking a sip now. Ooh, that's cozy.
I don't think it needs anything added to it. It's perfect on its own.
I added a tiny bit of honey.
But don't need it.
I think I could have let it steep a little bit longer. But I did have it there for 5 minutes.
Whoa. Usually that's good enough.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to like really full-bodied teas. So this just tastes a little watery to me. But it does taste good.
Maybe it's a big mug you're using.
It is. It is.
Should have brought you 2 tea bags.
Pretty good. Pretty tasty.
Nice.
I understand the hype now.
My hype?
Yes. You're the one person's hype. Your
apple cinnamon.
Every fucking day. Apple cinnamon.
It was fucking delicious.
All right. Who are we reading today and where did we leave them off?
The twins.
Oh.
Jaime and Cersei. So Tywin is finally brought to rest. Jaime tries to convince himself that Tyrion lied about Cersei's infidelity. And he mentions Sir Christian Cole de Lancel. Ooh, that was a long time ago.
Christian Cole, is that right?
Yeah, Sir Christian? Kristen.
Okay.
I assumed that I misspelled it.
That doesn't
Kristen.
sound right.
And Cersei plots with Sir Balman and his wife, Lady Felice, on Bronn's murder, and we learn about her infatuation with Prince Rhaegar.
All right, so we're starting with chapter 27, Jaime. Cersei criticizes Jaime's appearance, pointing out that his beard makes him look like Robert, and he has silver hairs.
Get old, Jaime.
Yeah, it's almost like he's a human. Jaime says he will shave if she relieves him of this duty, while also thinking about what Tyrion said about her fucking other men. Every time he's with her, this is like all he thinks about.
Yeah.
They argue about where Jaime's place is. He says it's by Tommen's side, and Cersei says it's wherever Tommen sends him. Jaime says he swore an oath to Lady Stark to never again take up arms against the Starks or the Tullys. Cersei says that oath was made under duress, and she wants Riverrun, and she wants Brynden Tully chained or dead. She also wants someone to set Harrenhal to rights. So that's clearly what this duty is that Jaime is trying to get out of. Gregor's men are there in Harrenhal, but are not responding to any of her ravens, so that's why she thinks she needs to send someone there.
Okay.
Then she says she wants Sir Osmond to command the Kingsguard in Jaime's absence. And he again thinks about Tyrion's words. There is honestly no better way for Tyrion to hurt Jaime.
Yeah. You've been betrayed.
Yeah. Those few words, like, took nothing for him to say, but they've been haunting Jaime non-stop ever since Tyrion said them.
I forgot it was Tyrion who told him that.
Jaime says it's not her choice who commands the Kingsguard, and Loras will be the one to command in his stead.
Suck it. Wench.
Yep. Cersei's like, you know how I feel about him, and she downright refuses it. And they argue about it until Cersei ends up slapping Jaime and he leaves. When he's with her, he still thinks about how much he wants to rip off her clothes and fuck her, but as of late, the very sight of her makes him angry. Which is very clear in the way he thinks when he's with her. They do not seem like they're on the same team at all anymore.
No. Nope.
They want entirely different things, and they seem to be on opposing sides most of the time. Which is just, it happened on the flip of a switch.
Yeah.
He got kidnapped and lost his hand, and he came back, and everything was different.
Or he was different.
Yeah. Do you think that would things have been different if, let's say, he didn't lose his hand or he didn't meet Brienne? Do you think he would have come back?
I think he would. Yeah, definitely. Losing his hand, I think, was the catalyst for his personality change.
Right.
I think so. And getting his ass handed to him by Bran.
True. Things really could have gone another direction for this guy, and
yeah.
he would have been worse for it, let's say.
Agreed.
Part of Jaime will be glad to put King's Landing behind him. He is sick of the company of fools who surround Cersei, whom the people in Flea Bottom are calling the smallest council. I'm not sure what that means, though. What do you think that means?
I'm pretty sure he calls them out for being the yes men, but I'm not sure what that means. Small-brained?
But the people in Flea Bottom are calling them the smallest council? Like, why?
Yeah,
how much do they know about, you know,
apparently hot gossip travels.
I guess so. I mean, that's true. Jaime meets up with 40 knights and as many squires at the stables. Jaime has a palfrey and a destrier, whom the Piper boy called Honor and Glory.
Horses? What are you, rich?
Jaime wasn't one to name his horses, since he's seen too many die in battle, but he allowed the names for these two when he heard them. He seems to find them amusing. I did learn that a destrier is like a war horse, and then a palfrey, I think, is like for more luxury riding.
Yeah, smooth riding.
Yeah.
Comfortable on the bum.
Jaime is asked if he wants his new hand, but he says no. He doesn't want the crowds to see the golden lie. He wants them to see the cripple. Jaime rides beside Ill and Pain, and I don't know if this is new info, but we learned that Pain was captain of the Hand's Guard when he was heard boasting that it was Lord Tywin who ruled the Seven Kingdoms and told King Aerys what to do, and that's when Aerys took his tongue.
You dumb. Villain. Where do you think you are?
He was clearly a very confident guy. Maybe he thought Tywin could protect him from Aerys.
Maybe.
They meet Sir Adam Marbrand and his outriders outside the city walls. Overall, they are fewer than 1,000 men, not a great host. But numbers are the last thing needed at River Run. They received word that the besiegers?
That sounds right.
Okay.
Besieger.
They received word that the besiegers are having trouble keeping themselves fed. The lands all around have been scoured and burnt, so I guess there's not much food and livestock around for eatins.
Yeah.
And thus begins another chapter all about traveling. Fuck me. As soon as he starts leaving King's Landing on the back of a horse, I was like, you gotta be fucking shitting me.
I knew you were gonna love it. I'm like, oh boy, everyone's gonna love this.
This is fucking bullshit. There's even a moment when Jaime remembers how he went to ask Ilan Payne to come on this journey with him, and it's just so uninteresting.
Yeah, I didn't need to know this. Yeah, he's gross, okay? He's living in a pigsty. Okay, awesome.
Like, we've been down there already. We know it's disgusting. Jaime just goes down to the dungeons and asks Payne, and Payne just answers with silence, and that's it.
He nods. One after silence.
Like, yeah,
like,
that's
wow.
Vital information that we needed to know. What the fuck? How was that not cut?
Right. I feel like if they started cutting traveling time, then this book would be half of what it was.
This isn't even traveling time. It's a fucking memory of how he asked someone to come with him to travel. And all he did was go up to him and say, hey, you want to come with me? And the guy's like, sure. What? So Jaime sups with the Hayfords when his host passes their castle, and he's asked about Lord Tyrek Lannister, who is a 14-year-old boy who vanished during the riots of King's Landing while Jaime was held captive at River Run. Jaime wonders if Varys had anything to do with the boy's disappearance, since the boy was King Robert's squire and might have information Varys would find valuable. Not sure what info that would be. Not sure if this is even important information, but I was like, okay, there's a new name, so maybe I'll mention him here. Okay.
But there was before that, I thought it was interesting when he gave the command that no one leaves the column, because he doesn't want no young knights or soldiers to be racing through fields, scattering livestock and trampling crops. He doesn't want that. So I thought that was interesting.
Oh, he's thinking
that's just another personality change.
Yeah, he's actually considering people other than himself and his sister.
Yeah.
That
so
is
like, oh,
that's actually
more
huge.
Good guy for me.
Yeah. Okay, during the traveling, Jaime also practices swordplay with Ilan at night to strengthen his left-hand fighting. At one point, they come across some knights who complain about a band of White Star wolves. I don't know what that
White Star?
is. Yep, that's what they said.
Huh.
So I wasn't sure if that would be important, but so yeah, I thought I'd mention it. As they near Harrenhal, Jaime wonders if Brienne might have passed the same way if she thought Sansa made for River Run. Jaime might have asked another traveler, if they encountered any, whether they saw a pretty maid with auburn hair or a big ugly one with a face that could curdle milk.
Dick.
Yeah, it's not a nice thought about Brienne, but at the same time, she's, I think, just objectively not attractive.
Yeah, I don't think he's being, like, cruel.
He has been cruel.
But, like, not here.
But yeah.
I don't, but still. Like, asshole.
It's like, yeah, you don't need to be that vicious, that creative with your language, dude.
Right.
But I also, at the same time, I appreciate that he sees her value beyond her looks.
Mm-hmm.
Because yes, yes, Brienne is ugly. She's not attractive. She is everything that women are not meant to look like. And yet she still has value, and Jaime sees that, and I appreciate that.
Yay. Good guy, Jaime.
And also, he's thinking about her mission at the same time, too. Like, he was like, you know, if I saw a traveler, I could ask them about Sansa as well. And I was like, what? Jaime?
Yeah, just helping out.
Yeah. And then they finally make it to Harrenhal. So that was my very quick summary of the travel.
Let's see.
One man who says he's called Shitmouth is very shocked. Yep. He's very shocked to see Jaime Lannister at Harrenhal. Jaime asks who has the command, and Shitmouth tells him Polliver, but he was killed by the Hound at the Crossroads Inn. Him and some boy hacked Polliver the Tickler and a Sarsfield boy to bits. Nice. Him and some boy, huh?
Peasant kid.
Someone called Raff gives Jaime more information, and Jaime then asks him to gather the garrison and captives and Hote's head to the hall.
Gross.
Just you wait, it gets worse. When Jaime sees the head, he learns that they fed the captives the rest of Hote's body on Gregor's orders.
Gross.
That's not all.
Oh no.
They even fed Hote some of his own self.
Okay, he was a bad dude, but he didn't deserve that.
I mean, I'm not saying he deserved it, but that's creative punishment. Gotta give it to Gregor there. Jaime thinks to himself that both of his father's dogs have gone mad.
Yeah.
Jaime tells them to dispose of the head in the lake and says Sir Bonifer Hasty will hold Harrenhal until Lord Peter arrives to claim his seat. Those who wish to join Bonifer may, and the rest will come with Jaime to Riverrun. The Mountain's men point out that they're owed, and Jaime tells them to go to King's Landing and take it up with his sister, if they won't be happy with the lands that Sir Bonifer can offer them. Jaime then asks to see the captives, including Willis Manderly. I recognize his name. Where have we met him before?
I honestly do not remember.
If he's at Harrenhal, did maybe Arya see or meet this guy in the past?
Oh no. I thought he was maybe one of Rob's men, but I wouldn't trust me. Not good at names. You think he's an important character?
I just, I know his name, so it bothers me that I can't place it. So he asks to see the captives, including Willis. When Jaime tells Sir Willis that he will be put on a ship for White Harbor, the man collapses and sobs. And maybe these are good sobs? Is this good news?
Yeah, he's relieved. He's no longer eating goat.
Okay, so maybe is Sir Willis from White Harbor or something?
Maybe.
I'm looking it up. Eldest son and heir of Wyman Manderly, Lord of White Harbor. So he is from White Harbor.
Okay.
A prominent northern house. The Manderlys
Northern.
are.
So
yep.
Maybe he was one of Rob's men.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it. At dinner, Sir Bonifer says he doesn't want any of Gregor's men, and Jaime agrees to take them with him, deciding he will send them up the ladders first if he needs to storm the walls of Riverrun. Bonifer also tells Jaime to take the whore, Pia, a girl
pronouncing it Pia in my brain.
Pia. But then when you say that out loud, Pia sounds kind of dumb.
Yeah, when you said Pia, I'm like, oh, that's probably it.
Yeah, Pia sounds better. Okay, so let's call her Pia. Bonifer tells Jaime to take her, and she is in really rough shape and has clearly seen some shit while she's been trapped here.
She is the same lady who Qyburn sent to sleep with Jaime when he was first brought to Harrenhal after getting his hand cut off.
Right.
So he knows who she is.
Yes, and she was apparently very sweet and giggly in bed, I think. he remembers. Not that he slept with her, but she crawled into his bed.
Yeah.
I think Gregor also punched her in the face.
Yeah. With the gauntlet on.
Yeah,
so she's busted up.
Yeah.
Like, no teeth.
Yeah, fuck. Poor thing. So, when Jaime sees her, she's, like, sobbing and clinging at his legs, at his feet. Mm-hmm. Jaime decides that he will take her and she can be his washwoman.
Wash his clothes for him.
Yep. Jaime isn't thrilled about leaving Bonifer... Okay.
Who?
Bonifer, or Baelor Butthole, as he thinks of him, in charge of Harrenhal.
Wow, that's super mature.
That's literally what he thinks, too. Like, it doesn't sound the most medieval. Baelor Butthole. But I like it. Jaime isn't thrilled about leaving Baelor Butthole in charge here at Harrenhal, since he isn't convinced that he and his holy men are fighters. But he is the man that Cersei wanted, so it is what it is. Jaime asks Bonifer to send word if he happens across the brave companions, Zolo, Shagwell, Rorge, Faithful Urswick, and the rest. Do you remember any of those names?
No, I haven't been around them for a while.
I know Rorge was one of the ones that,
Ooh, the one with the teeth, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. He was with... What's his name?
Did you mention Shagwell in there? I think some of them were killed by Brienne.
What?
And just a few chapters ago, she killed the remaining.
Oh my god, she did.
Men.
Wait. She did kill Shagwell, Rorge, and Urswick, right?
Probably not Rorge.
Oh, I thought Rorge was something. Maybe not.
Was he? No, I don't think so. But I remember her killing Shagwell for sure. But I don't remember the other ones.
Sheesh. Okay. Yeah, so Jaime wants Bonifer to send word if he happens across any of these people, and Bonifer asks if this is so Jaime can torture and kill them. And he says forgiveness would be proper if they were to repent.
Oh.
So a very annoyingly holy man.
Yeah.
Jaime leaves to search for Sir Ilyn for another sparring match and passes the bear pit. He meets Sir Connington there. In the pit is the carcass of the bear, and Connington, or I think he's also known as Sir Ronnet, maybe that's his first name, Ronnet Connington. Sir Ronnet says he wanted to see where the bear danced with the maiden not so fair.
The fucked up.
Connington laughs about what the sight of her must have looked like and reveals he was betrothed to Brienne once. Jaime sees the two griffins on the knight's surcoat and realizes that Red Ronnet's father was Jon Arryn's cousin.
Huh.
Jon Connington had been Prince Rhaegar's friend and was set up to be the next hand before Aerys had exiled him across the sea. The cousin, though, Red Ronnet's father, joined the rebellion instead, and Robert rewarded him with Griffin's Roost, which I think is some lands, or it's like a castle or something. So a little bit of backstory there. I'm not sure why we need it, but there it is. Jaime asked why Red Ronnet and Brienne didn't marry, and Ronnet starts heavily insulting her appearance, saying, like, some really awful things, and basically explaining that's why they didn't marry. And he calls her a freak at one point, and Jaime hits him when he says that with his golden hand.
Hell yeah!
And he tells this guy to call her by her name.
Yeah, she is a lady. Excuse you.
She is a highborn lady, as a matter of fact. And
show some respect.
As Connington edges away, he keeps saying, Brienne, Brienne the beauty, Brienne the beauty. And that's Jaime's chapter. What do you think?
I always enjoy Jaime nowadays.
Uh-huh.
I also noticed the description for his golden hand. I didn't notice this last time, but apparently there's mother of pearl nails on it.
What?
So pretty.
Huh.
Yeah, his golden hand has mother of pearl nails.
That's almost
It
creepy,
just sounds
though.
Beautiful. It probably is creepy.
It sounds kind of yucky to me. Like, I don't want it to have nails. Ugh.
Oh, it has nails.
Ew.
It is pretty.
So, did the traveling not bother you?
I was more amused by it because I knew you'd hate it so much.
Yep. The second
I skimmed
he left
through it
King's
a lot,
Landing. Well, you didn't miss much.
That interesting.
Yeah. Just a lot of garbage, and I'm actually mad about the part where he remembers going down to ask Gillen Payne to come with him. That part's just so fucking dumb.
I'm glad I just skipped off of that. I'm like, I don't need to include this when I was doing it. Because it was dumb. I don't need to hear about how gross squalor that he was living in and all that jazz. Like,
yeah.
Who cares?
Maybe if it was the first time we were hearing about that, sure. But we have been down to the dungeons with Jaime before.
Yeah.
We know it's not nice down there.
It's no prowess.
And it's like, I don't know, man. I'm just like, bruh, what's happening? And maybe
What even is this book?
I honestly start to wonder sometimes if I'm like exaggerating how I feel about the book. Like maybe my negative emotions are kind of building on each other, so it seems worse than it is. I don't know.
It's not so terrible, but it is also like terrible. It's so boring.
Right.
But like that's the worst thing about it, is that it's so boring. I don't need to know all these details, sir.
You're right. It's not like the writing isn't bad. It's still well written. It's still like technically doing the job of world building, but I just I've said this before,
too much,
so I don't need to repeat myself, but it just like delays the plot, and then it's just very very different from how the series started, where everything was so necessary. Like you couldn't cut out a single paragraph of the first book.
No.
Yeah, everything in there was so valuable. But in this one, it feels like I could literally cut out 70% of it, and you'd still have all the vital information left.
Yeah, it would.
Ugh, it's painful. It's sad. I think it's sad. And it makes me worry for Wins. Like, if it ever comes out, like...
Oh, shit, because it's taking so long to come out. Maybe it's because he's detailing too much. Detailing shit that doesn't need to be detailed.
Yeah. Just because the evidence that I have in front of me is that this is the book that has taken the longest for him to write at this point. Like, before this, I think they took only 2 years. They were only 2 years apart.
Yeah, he was pumping them out.
And then this one took 5, and this is the condition it's in. So that's what makes me worry that if it's taking even longer, something's not right. But I don't know. I haven't read Dragons yet, so maybe that one's better than this one.
Fingers crossed.
Hey everyone, just a quick aside. We just became affiliates of Buzzsprout, which is the hosting platform we use for our podcast. If you are interested in creating your own podcast, please consider using Buzzsprout. It made it easy to get our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and dozens of other streaming platforms. They also provide you with a podcast website, detailed analytics to see how your episodes are performing, and tons of guides on how to improve your listenability. And if you follow our link in the episode description, you will get a $20 Amazon gift card when you sign up for a paid plan, and it helps support our show. Thank you. Back to the episode. Shall we move on to chapter 28?
Chapter Cersei?
Indeed. Okay, chapter 28 is Cersei.
Right. Cersei and Lady Merryweather are being carried in a litter to the Great Set to meet with the High Septim. Lady Merryweather is providing Cersei with some hot gossip about Marjorie, who she's keeping company with and whatnot.
Hot goss.
Hot goss. She tells Cersei that Marjorie and Renly actually did consummate their marriage. So she's not a maiden. It's one of the many hot goss that she tells.
Just for clarity, she didn't actually see them fuck, but she did see Renly crawl into bed with Marjorie and he had a hard on.
And she mentions that he was really drunk, so I'm like questioning the validity of this story. We know how men are when they're really drunk.
But she also mentions Loras was there. So maybe he was Renly's reason for having a if you know what I mean. They also yeah, she's wondering about like who Marjorie's getting close to, right? Or who she spends time with.
Yeah.
And I think she's wondering if Marjorie has like fucked these people too.
Yeah, she's trying to really catch Marjorie in the action.
Yeah. She's thinking that Marjorie is like herself.
Yeah. A typical narcissist. Everyone is like me. So that's how I outsmart them.
Yeah.
So, and then they start talking about the High Septim. Apparently, High Septons have to lose their name when they become the High Septim, since they are now considered the avatar of the gods. So Cersei mentions that they just call them like the fat one, or the one before the fat one. Yeah.
Sorry, real quick. There was also a point where they were wondering if Loras and Marjorie are fucking.
Yeah, there's a part in the end where I think Cersei is really wondering that.
I think it's, yeah, it kind of, the idea is spawned here at the beginning of the chapter while they were having hot goss. I don't remember what it said exactly, but...
We can touch back on it.
Okay, that was the takeaway. Sorry, go ahead.
Lady Merryweather has heard that this new High Septim was a peasant. Which Cersei confirms. She describes it as being born with dirt under his nails.
Okay.
That's a fancy way to say poor. A poor.
A poor.
The litter comes to a stop, and Cersei can hear Sir Osmond shouting. Cersei peeks out and asks Sir Meryn Trant what's happening. Sir Meryn explains that there are sparrows camping in the street, and they're in the way. He offers to make them move. Cersei asks them to do it gently, because she doesn't want another riot. She's still traumatized from that time they were attacked in the first book, I think. Second book? Second book.
Whenever they sent off Marcella.
Yeah, I think it's book 2, because Ned was dead.
Right.
Cersei and Lady Merryweather start complaining about this peasant High Septon feeding and sheltering the poors, and acting like he doesn't have to obey the royal family and give his blessing to Tommen, which she's been withholding. The litter jolts to a stop again, and Cersei looks outside. They're on top of Visenya's hill, and they can see the Great Set, but in between them is like a sea of stinking sparrows, like hundreds of them camping, and Cersei's appalled. Sir Osmond approaches, and he tells her that they have sent someone to summon the Gold Cloaks to clear them out, but Cersei doesn't want to wait for them, so she climbs out of the litter and makes her way on foot, with Sir Osmond shadowing her.
That was surprising to me.
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
Until I learned why she... Like, it makes sense that she would be impatient by the time she gets to the door. As
she weaves her way through the camp, she can see, like, the sparrows are all, like, glaring at her. And she gets closer to the set. She notices that the statue of Baelor the Beloved is waist deep in bones and skulls.
Isn't it Baelor the Blessed?
It could have been. As I read Beloved, I'm like, I thought it was Blessed, okay.
Okay.
She draws the line there and shouts at the crowd to explain why they have disrespected the statue so. A one-legged sparrow hobbles forward, and he informs Cersei that these are the bones of all the septums and septas that have been murdered in the war of their faith. For their faith, they have brought the bones to bear witness to the agony of the holy faith.
Ooh.
Cersei chooses her words carefully and tells them that Tommen will avenge their deaths, and that this is the work of Stannis and the Red Witch, as well as the northern savages who worship trees and wolves. The three-legged man says that they do not seek vengeance for the dead,
Hold
but
on.
for the living. Eh?
You said the three-legged man.
Yeah, the three-legged man. The one-legged man.
Oh my.
You can tell I was tired last night.
Uh-huh. Okay, now.
The one-legged man.
Got it.
Yeah. They want protection for the living.
Okay, so he's like, don't avenge our dead, protect the people who are still alive.
Yeah. A hulking man with a star on his forehead says that the warrior will protect them, not the fat boy king.
With a star on his head?
Yeah, there's a star on his forehead.
Does that make him a sparrow?
Probably.
Okay.
Maybe the other guy wasn't a sparrow. I'm not sure. We still haven't learnt what sparrows and the pores are, or the difference between them. But they're mixed.
Okay.
Cersei has to stop Sir Mern from pulling out his sword, aware that she only has 2 knights in the Sea of Sparrows. She makes her way to the doors, where she is stopped by 2 armed men. They tell her that weapons are not allowed inside, and her king's guard must remove their swords before entering. Cersei is furious, and is aware that all it'll take is 1 word from her, and these guards will both be dead. But she knows it will not look good, so she orders her knights to stay behind as she enters.
I guess they can't just take off their weapons and leave them on the ground.
No, she doesn't want them to, I guess.
Yeah.
When she enters, she sees a bunch of men on their knees scrubbing the floors. One of them lifts his head and she recognizes Septon Reynard. She asks what the heck he's doing scrubbing the floors. And a short, skinny man, also scrubbing, answers saying work is a form of prayer to the smith. He stands and Cersei notices that he's not wearing shoes and his feet are hard and gross to look at.
No! What?
He introduces himself as the High Septon.
What?
Yeah. This poor.
Another poor.
Cersei asks if this is how he planned to greet her and if he knows who she is. Yes, he knows she's the Queen Regent and reminds her that even kings and queens must bow before the gods.
I just want to put a big emphasis on what he said there. Can you say that one more time?
What? That even kings and queens must bow before the gods?
Yeah, just that. We'll just remember that line.
Bow before the gods, y'all.
Kings and queens too, y'all.
Yeah, not just the poors.
Not just a poor. Even a rich has to.
Even the mighty.
Don't you mean a mighty?
Oh yeah, even a mighties.
Indeed.
Cersei tells him that he should have greeted her outside the set, in his best robes and the crown that they have. The High Septon tells her they do not have a crown. Cersei tells him, yeah, they do. Her lord father gifted a beautiful one to the previous High Septon. The High Septon's like, oh yeah, that! I sold it to feed the poor, along with everything else of value in this set.
We sold it to feed a poor.
Yeah, Cersei is convinced that he is mad, because what kind of reasonable person cares about the poor?
Ew, the poor's gross.
Ew.
Yuck.
Why would you waste money helping the poor?
If you feed the poors, they just keep coming back for mores.
Yeah, that doesn't solve the problem, it creates a bigger problem.
Yeah, they need to learn how to fend for themselves.
Cersei asks if they can talk in private, and he leads her into the set proper. Even inside, there are sparrows scattered about praying. He leads her to the statue of the crone and kneels, and Cersei kneels beside him. Cersei tells him that the sparrows are frightening the city and she wants them gone. The High Septon asks where they should go instead. She says back where they came from, but he says that they're from everywhere. She asks if he has seen how they befouled the statue of Baelor, and he tells her that it was befouled before with an execution.
Oh shit.
Cersei is pissed and offended that he would throw Ned Stark's execution in her face. She tells him that Joffrey was young and dumb, but Ned was a traitor after all, so he kind of deserved it. The High Septon reminds her that King Baelor forgave traitors. She tells him that King Tommen will forgive the sparrows too if they leave.
Forgive them for what?
Yeah, like what? For befouling
befouling the
statue? The High Septon tells her that they're from many villages that have been destroyed in the war and won't let her blame them on Starkmen. And he won't let her blame the destruction of these villages on the Starks, as they have seen Lannisters murdering and raping as well. He asks where were the king's knights sworn to always protect the faith. Cersei responds by asking why he hasn't blessed Tommen yet. The High Septon says that they're waiting for when the time is right. He isn't sure which king will be successful yet.
What? Holy shit.
Whoa, this guy has balls. Cersei refrains from slapping him and tells him only King Tommen defends the Holy Faith. The High Septon reminds her that he isn't doing anything about the burning septs and murdering septons and septas. That Tommen isn't doing anything about this. Cersei tells him that he will as soon as he's blessed. Now, Cersei doesn't actually believe in the gods, but she wants Tommen blessed because it looks good to the pores.
Right, and when the Septon actively refuses to, I imagine that stands out to
it does.
The small folk.
The High Septon asks how will Tommen protect them. Cersei tells him that the sparrows look like they can defend themselves, and tells him to send them out to defend their own septs.
Oh?
The High Septon tells her that King Maegor's laws prohibit men of the faith to take up arms.
That was news to me.
Yeah, apparently King Maegor made it against the law for there to be faith warriors.
I wonder why. Was he afraid of them?
Maybe he learned from the Crusades.
Yeah, he learned from the Crusades.
Maybe something similar happened. Where they tried to forcefully turn people to the light of the Seven.
Okay, I don't know much about the Crusades, so using it as an example is not
effective. Oh, it was a bunch of Christians forcing Muslims to turn Christian.
Ew, really?
Forcefully. Yeah, it was the Holy War, where bishops sent out armies to attack non-Christians.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Could Christians get any worse?
I'm sure.
They could try to strip away all women's rights in the richest country in the world. Oh wait.
Go back to the Dark Ages and get rid of some important laws.
Why don't we just become your baby factories at this point? Gilead is here.
Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah. Just make it happen, dude. Like, why are you holding back anymore?
Yeah, what purpose is there for women other than baby making?
Yeah, it's our only value.
Cersei tells him that King Maegor is dead. Tommen is king now, and those laws can be undone. The High Septon seems intrigued in bringing back the faith militant. Oh, when I heard that, I was like, oh shit, Cersei, back off.
Yeah, as soon as he showed interest in that, like, my hairs on the back of my neck started standing up. I was like,
fact that he called it the faith militant.
Ew.
Dude.
Bad idea.
Cersei, you're not above this, he just said.
Oh, she thinks she's untouchable.
Yeah, she thinks that they're gonna be under her command.
Oh my god.
Because they're poor.
Yep.
Man. Okay. The High Septon agrees, and he says that he will bless Tommen in return for the Faith Militant. Cersei stands and says she'll have the papers drawn up. She is extremely proud of herself.
He also
Even
agreed
her
to
lord...
forgive
the debt the crown owes them.
Which was like
Which
9
was like
million dragons? 900 million?
Millions of dragons. Yeah. It was so much. Holy shit.
Almost 1 billion dragons.
That's
it was
insane.
like 900 million, yeah. How
what
the
are you
fuck?
Doing? Taking loans from your church now?
Oh my god.
Where does the church get money? From the poor?
Bro. Oh shit. Not from the poors.
She's extremely proud of herself. Even her Lord Father could not have done better. Yo, you just fucked up, bro.
I don't think your Lord Father would be stupid enough to put swords in the hands of extremist religious people.
Pretty sure he would have wiped them all out. Brought the army over. Bye. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
When Cersei gets back to her litter, she and Lady Merryweather celebrate with some rice wine. Hippocras. Every time I read Hippocras, I like read Hippocrates, and I'm like,
oh.
What?
Not Hippocrates?
Who is that? Like a philosopher?
I don't know, something like that. I just remember from your dentistry course, you were learning about one of them.
It was Hippocrates. The father of medicine, Hippocrates.
Yeah, but I remember you, like, mentioning that your classmates were all calling him Hippocrates.
Oh yeah, because my instructor was calling him Hippocrates.
And I was like, wait, who's Hippocrates? Do you mean Hippocrates? And you're like, yeah. Oh my god.
Like, whoa, Hippocrates sounds way more.
You were like, I knew it didn't sound right.
I don't think I ever corrected anyone either.
That's
hilarious. I just say Hippocrates.
Hippocrates.
Well, I was like saying Hippocrates myself.
Yeah. You go up to do your presentation at the end of class, and you're like, Hippocrates, blah blah blah, and they're all like, oh my god.
Why are you calling him Hippocrates? It's Hippocrate.
Well, I would hope they're not that dumb to... I would hope they would just realize their mistake at that point. Not that you ever had a presentation, but that's just...
I did.
That's my fantasy. Oh, you did?
I had a few, but I don't remember talking about Hippocrates, though. It was more like something else. I don't remember.
I see. Too bad.
Too bad. Could have boasted. Cersei and Lady Merryweather are excited that they have basically created another army to fight Stannis and the Northmen. So yeah, they think they're gonna be fighting for them. You're very smart, Cersei. So smart.
So Cersei, remember that time when he said, even kings and queens must bow to the gods?
Nope, that is went in one ear and out the other.
Cersei, do you think you've done nothing that the faith might find unfaithful?
Sin?
You think you've committed no sins at all, Cersei? You don't think there might be, like, one rumor or two floating around about you, Cersei?
She is so, like, unperturbed by what the poors are saying. Because the poors don't matter.
I can literally picture her calling them that. The poors.
Poor?
I am dying to know, one, what Tywin would do in these situations, and two, what he would say to Cersei.
You dumb bitch.
If he could just, like, crawl back up from hell for a few minutes, learn about what she's done, what he would say to her. I think he would just be like, can I go back to hell now, please?
Oh, he'd be furious that she's destroying his family name.
Yeah.
He's put so much work into it just for her to fuck it up. Dumb bitch.
It's not even that she's dumb, though, because she's not stupid.
She's just too blinded by her own ego.
Yeah, she actually thinks so highly of herself. She does not see any situation in which she is not right.
Yeah, she cannot comprehend being wrong.
Yeah. She can't fathom the idea that anything she could think of would be imperfect.
She's a genius. She's the smartest person that she knows.
We can tell she very much admired her father. Because she keeps comparing herself to him and wanting to be like him, but it becomes more and more apparent that she did not understand what made him a good leader.
Well, she never got to learn with him. Jaime did.
Yeah,
unfortunately. So all she saw was his actions, but never the why behind it.
Right. And when she would I think there were points when she would talk in meetings, try to communicate with him, and he would just kind of brush her off.
Yeah, her words didn't matter to him.
He wouldn't even bother explaining his reasoning behind something. So it does kind of make sense that she would kind of build her own reasoning, and that it would be very wrong and very skewed and lead to these kinds of decisions that she's making now.
Yeah. As they head back to the Red Keep, they encounter Margaery coming back from a ride with a long tail of courtiers, guards, and servants behind her. Cersei is disgusted to see Sir Loras accompanying her. Okay. Margaery rides beside Cersei's litter and tells her that they are picking autumn flowers in the Kingswood. Cersei doesn't like that Margaery can't seem to go 3 days without going for a ride, and she dislikes that she gives alms to the poors and buys food from the poors, like the bakers. And she's like, ew, they're poor. Why even look at them? Yeah, it seems like she doesn't like that Margaery does things differently than she does.
Yeah.
If you're different from her, you're wrong.
Exactly. If you're not exactly like her, you're wrong.
Reminds me of someone else. Yeah.
Who?
Let me continue. Dad.
Oh.
Cersei has been letting Tommen join her sometimes with Sir Osney in the hopes that Osney would finally seduce her, but he has been failing in that regard, and she's losing interest in Osney. She's grossed out by him. She's like, why can't you seduce her? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, you must be disgusting. You must be vile.
You aren't the person I thought you were.
Gross, we're never fucking again.
You're just not trying hard enough. But you want him to force her now?
There's even a point earlier in this fucking chapter where she was like, oh, those septas were probably praying for a good raping.
Ugh.
Isn't that the most disgusting thing you've ever heard?
No, it's so gross.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're celibate, they must want to be raped?
Yep.
Get out of here, you. Cersei suddenly becomes convinced that it was the Tyrells who freed Tyrion, and that they're actually harboring both Tyrion and Sansa in Highgarden.
Oh my god.
Wow! Genius!
She solved it!
Yup. It just all came together in her brain. She figured it out.
Everything makes sense now. God.
Margaery tells Cersei that they should plan a ride together sometime. And Cersei responds that she doesn't have time to pick flowers. She has a kingdom to rule. Margaery insists that Cersei share her load and teach her, because she would love to help.
Actually, before that, she has a nice little comeback.
Oh?
Cersei's like, I have a kingdom to rule. And then Marjorie's like, oh, who rules the other 6?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, yes, queen.
Sassy.
But then she goes, oh, I just.
I'm just joking. We're friends.
And I was like, I love you, Marjorie.
And no wonder Cersei hates you. Yeah, Marjorie wants Cersei to teach her.
Teach me, mommy.
Ew. Cersei tells her that King Robert also used to love the woods. He's dead now. Marjorie is honored that Cersei is worried for her and tells her not to worry as Sir Loras is with her. The way they look at each other reminds Cersei of her and Jaime, and she giggles. Marjorie asks what the jest is, and Cersei promises that she will tell her. And that is that chapter. And yeah, I think right there she is suspecting that she and Loras are lovers too.
Yes, because again, she thinks everyone is exactly like her.
Except this time it's a terrible crime, whereas what she does is fine.
Yeah, exactly. It's so ironic that she thinks she's gonna get Marjorie in trouble for this with the Faith, now that the Faith militant is coming back, and yet what she thinks is
no one is going to see her. No one's going to notice that she also.
Yeah, one, Marjorie is a queen. 2, she believes Marjorie is sleeping with her brother. Cersei, you're a queen, and you were fucking your brother.
Cersei, you dumb bitch.
What do you think?
Fucked up.
Huh?
You had it all. You had freaking screw it up.
How is she so paranoid, and yet not paranoid enough to think people like the Faith might be after her, too?
Because she's so focused on the Tyrells. It's just the Tyrells who are after her. No one else.
Right.
It's the Tyrells.
You're so right. Oh my god, I fucking love Cersei's chapters.
And she's like assuming too that everyone else is going to agree with her that yes, it's the Tyrells.
Yeah.
The Tyrells are harboring Tyrion and Sansa. Oh man.
I adore her chapters. Cersei's chapters are the saving grace of this book.
You get into that, the psychosis of Cersei.
I love it.
I don't.
You don't love it?
God, she drives me up the wall.
Yeah, but I love that. Because you can see her comeuppance. You can see it there on the horizon, and it's inching closer every chapter.
Yeah, unfortunately, it stresses me out because I'm like, you are fucking up big time. Oh my god, you big dumb bitch. Protect people. Oh my god, she could have done so good, but no. No. She had to one up her father because she thought she was so smart. She's not.
I wonder if anything would have been different if she and Jaime were still, like, good. Like, on good terms.
I don't know. I always felt like Cersei was the boss in the relationship.
So things maybe would have been even worse because she would have had Jaime as her dog.
I think Jaime, though, is like an unleashed dog. Like, he's loyal to her, but he will also do what he feels is right. So I feel like Jaime would have very easily might have, you know, killed some sparrows too.
Right, maybe even the High Septon.
Like old Jaime.
Yeah. So that would have been like a huge mess.
Yeah. Except it just would mean more rebellious pores. More riots instead of like the actual destruction of houses. Or whatever it is that happens with the sparrows when the sparrows start kidnapping people and putting them on trial.
Oh, well, don't give anything away.
Oh, sorry. You haven't seen the show? I didn't mean it.
The thing is that Jaime was privy to his father's decision-making and that sort of thing, right? So maybe if he was still with Cersei, she would have talked to him about, like, maybe some plans that she had, like, to go talk to the High Septon and blah, blah, blah. And maybe he would have been like, okay, giving them the Faith Militant back is a bad idea. And maybe she would have listened.
Pointed out the smart.
Yeah. So maybe things would have gone better for her if she still had Jaime.
Yeah, I feel like they worked better as a team. But since they're not on good terms no more, it's just spiraling.
I don't think she realizes it, but she maybe kind of needed him.
Yeah. I feel like they were good. A good match? Like, not like good people, but like they were stronger together.
Yeah, just as a force to be reckoned with, right?
Yeah.
He is lost without her, and she has way too much ego without him.
Mm-hmm. So they were pretty good together.
Yeah.
Just not good as in good.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Like, they were super toxic, but they adored each other. Like, toxic to other people.
Yeah. And they brought out terrible things in each other, but I think they also...
But they were smarter together.
They were smarter together, yeah. I don't know, though. Maybe Jaime's smarter without her now, but he's just so lost. He doesn't really know how to make his own decisions yet.
Yeah. He doesn't quite have a handle on it. But
he's getting there. Yeah.
He'll just be more successful than her.
Yeah. He's getting there. But that's also because he's had a positive influence that he has interacted with, whereas Cersei has not. Because she hasn't allowed it.
No.
She hasn't let in any positive influences.
She hasn't been humbled yet, like brought down to her lowest.
Oh, you're right.
When he has. And that, you know, you can become a different person when that happens. Change yourself for the better. But, yeah. Not her. And I think she's a type that even if that happens, she will stay delusional.
Because her ego's grown so strong now.
Yeah.
Like, maybe before it would have made a difference, but not anymore. But maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll watch her get humbled by some sparrows. We'll see.
Perhaps.
Alright, I guess that's it. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of A Tea is Good, Books Are Better. A pour is good, pours are better.
Are they not according to Cersei?
Rich is good and richer is better?
Yeah.
Great.
Highborn is good. Royalty is better.
Tywin is good. Cersei is better.
Oh, shit.
Thank you for listening. If you want more of the podcast, please follow us on Instagram. You can follow the podcast at TIGBAB Podcast or follow us individually. My handle is Crimby and Jess's is just.egan24. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search TIGBAB Podcast or Tea is Good, Books Are Better, and we will show up there. Also, please subscribe to our good friend Bahrami on YouTube. He's the one who made our jingle, which you heard at the start of the episode, and he makes some really cool music. That's Bahram. You can also find him on Spotify as Bahrambient. That's Bahrambient. And please check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/teaisgoodbooksarebetter. We have a few different tea-themed tiers with fun rewards, including outtakes, BTS stuff, and mini episodes in which we force our brother to watch Game of Thrones, which he absolutely hates. So it makes for some fun discussions/arguments. Finally, if you would be willing to share the podcast with your family and your friends, it would be a huge help to us to grow the podcast. Thank you so much. And come back next time when we cover The Reaver.
Yeah.
Who is that?
I mean, it's Victorian, but okay.
Okay. Well, spoilers. And Jaime again. Oh.
I think there's going to be quite a few Jaime chapters now. Shit goes down with him. Woohoo.
Is he gonna be fucking non-stop traveling to Riverrun again? Fucking probably. Great. I'm so
Hopefully
thrilled.
it happens in one chapter, please.
Alright, looking forward to it. Thank you for listening, everyone. Bye.
Yes.